Hello and welcome to a brand new camera comparison video between the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and the iPhone 13 Pro, not the 13 Pro Max because I don't have one. But in terms of camera specifications, both the 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max are the same. So stick with me, this is the most epic camera comparison of 2022 between the two best smartphones on the market, the S22 Ultra and the iPhone 13 Pro. So right off the bat, this is the 1080p 60 fps video sample that I'm shooting from the front camera of both smartphones. What do you think about the overall quality? What do you think about the stabilization? I'm taking a brisk walk. What do you think about the audio? It's quite noisy behind me. Some construction work is going on around in that building. So how are the phones doing when it comes to capturing my audio? Let me know in the comments. And right now I can see that the highlights are being blown out on my forehead and the dynamic range is definitely looking better on the Samsung, at least to me, at least on the viewfinder. But you guys be the judge. You just saw both the phones output in full HD 60 fps. Let me know which one do you think so is doing a better job overall, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra or the iPhone 13 Pro. So without any further ado, let's go ahead with the rest of the video. But you know the drill. Before we start, consider hitting that red subscribe button for detailed tech videos and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. Man, the Galaxy S22 Ultra is a heavy phone. It's quite difficult to record like this. But yeah, without any further ado, without wasting any more time, let's get started. Now before we jump to the samples, you can pause your screens to take a quick look at the camera specifications of both smartphones. And with this out of the way, let's begin. Starting with a photo of a place where I usually take my morning coffees on the way to work. So at first glance, you see a very similar treatment from both phones when it comes to the color tone. Actually, if I have to pinpoint, the sky does exhibit a slightly deeper blue in Samsung's photo, while the orange in the text looks punchier in iPhone's photo. Honestly, a very close result, but looking at the tree on the right, it clearly shows how well Samsung dealt with enhancing the darker area. I mean, the shadows look much better, and overall I feel Samsung did the better job here in this daylight photo. And speaking of daylight photos, for example this one that you're seeing on your screens right now, once again a very similar treatment I got here as well, although I will admit that I like the sky better in Samsung's photo. But more than that, looking at this photo zoomed in, the S22 Ultra also managed to handle the highlights better on my forehead, plus the Samsung's photo also does seem to look slightly more detailed here. What do you think? Okay, so now another photo taken in daylight, and this time around the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra straight away takes this round. I mean, just look at the left side of my face in the iPhone's photo. Turned out dark, I don't know for what reason, and comparatively Samsung's photo was downright better, and most importantly the exposure on my face came out better in S22's photo. In fact, even in this other photo, as you can see, once again, while everything around me is well exposed, I don't know, for some reason the iPhone 13 Pro's tendency to capture the subject darker than usual, this was a bit annoying. I mean, I took a lot of photos of mine and of so many other things around me from both the devices, and while both are excellent camera phones, side by side I really loved how Samsung deals with the overall color tone in the image, so how my skin tone generally used to turn out in photos. Plus I also felt the S22 Ultra definitely had an upper hand in handling the highlights and shadows, and of course the overall exposure and white balance. By the way, some of these characteristics are carried over from the primary camera to the ultra-wide cameras of these phones as well. So this photo taken from the ultra-wide lens is again two of the best results you can get from any smartphone in the market, but side by side I really felt Samsung time and again does a much better job of balancing the exposure in an image. Similarly, in this other shot taken from the ultra-wide angle lens, look at the fort behind, brighter in Samsung's output. Or even this photo in which the S22 Ultra shows a slightly better dynamic range also, but overall once again the tree on the left, and you instantly see it looks better in Samsung's photo. In fact, in this photo, the sheer vibrancy that the S22 Ultra's image exhibits simply takes it away from me. Again, not that the iPhone does a bad job, but side by side, I can't help but pick the S22 Ultra's photo as the better one here. Now shifting our attention to indoor shots, and this one by the way was taken in portrait mode. So this one's actually a no-brainer. Samsung did a better job, like a much better job overall. Not only is the edge detection around the subject better on the S22 Ultra's output, but the details are also better in Samsung's photo. And I would also like to clarify that this shot is not as pink as you're seeing in the iPhone's output. Now in the same situation, I took one other photo of my brother, and this was actually the first time I preferred the iPhone 13 Pro's result. Actually, the colors still looked more accurate taken from the Samsung, but the overall composition, especially the dynamic range, was ever so slightly better in the iPhone's result. Apart from this, over the course of this testing, I also took a bunch of nature shots in the outskirts of Imphal, Manipur, and while both these phones impressed me with their outputs, especially in the photos taken during the golden hour and sunset, I would once again give the edge to Samsung here for producing overall brighter and vibrant images between the two. Not to forget, photos coming out from the Samsung had balanced exposure on a consistent basis. One other thing that I absolutely loved using on both these phones is the zoom capabilities. So the photo on your screens that you're seeing was taken in 3x optical zoom, and both devices have done a phenomenal job when it comes to preserving the details, exposure and white balance in the image. Now Samsung does take the zoom game a notch higher, actually many notches higher, by offering a 10x optical zoom option and even further up to a 100x digital zoom option. The result is on your screens right now, and while the photos that were taken in 100x might seem like a gimmick, and to an extent it is also, let me tell you, to whomsoever I showed these 100x photos, everyone was like amazed to look at them, and many even tried replicating the same from their phones, and of course they were not able to. In fact, I took a bunch of moon photos in 100x zoom as well, and while these photos are certainly not the most perfect and the most detailed, be rest assured this is the best close-up photo of the moon you can get from any phone right now, and honestly and realistically, no phone even comes close. Shifting gears now onto the photos like these ones shot outside a mall, basically the low light shots. So at first glance, both images look good, but actually the S22 Ultra did a better job here, especially in terms of the dynamic range. See for yourself as the overblown highlights inside the store look off-putting in the iPhone's photo. Now this doesn't mean the S22 Ultra was perfect all the time. For example, this picture, which is brighter in Samsung's output, I mean look at the sky or the grass. Overall, I liked how the iPhone composed the image here. For instance, I love the tone of the sky. I even love the treatment with the shadows this time around. The white balance and basically the overall photo looks much better taken from the iPhone 13 Pro. But then again, in most cases, there were many scenarios where the Galaxy S22 Ultra not only gave me brighter looking photos consistently in not so great lighting, but those photos were also sharper and the dynamic range was also better. So for the shots taken in the evenings or at night or any place where the lighting isn't all that good, both phones do a fabulous job, but I feel that overall it is the Galaxy S22 Ultra that performed more consistently for me. Okay, coming to selfies, and at this point it has been so one-sided for me, but I can't help but praise the S22 Ultra here again. In this particular photo, you can clearly see how pale I look in the iPhone's output, but on the other hand, I like how Samsung captured my skin tone in its image, and the slight background blur also looks better versus the sharp background in the iPhone's photo. By the way, you can also check out the same scene taken in portrait mode, but the result turned out to be the same. In fact, I would like to add that along with the color reproduction, Samsung also does a superior job with the edge detection, similar to what it did in my photos taken in portrait mode from the rear camera. So yes, for selfies taken in daylight, good light, indoor light or low light, it was the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra that gave me better results consistently. Now check out some video samples. So right now I'm recording portrait video on both the iPhone 13 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. It's called cinematic video on the iPhone, simply portrait video on the Samsung, and this is the kind of quality you can expect. And side by side, if I am not wrong, the footage, if on the viewfinder at least, I can see that the footage is noisy on the iPhone, but it's quite bright and nice on the Samsung. The field of view is looking better on the viewfinder in the iPhone, but overall the video quality, the edge separation, it's looking better on the Samsung. The overall quality, to me at least in the viewfinder right now, looks better on the Samsung Galaxy, and I just can't ignore the noise in the footage on the iPhones. But yeah, otherwise this is the kind of quality you can expect. Samsung doing a fabulous job at night in this portrait video sample. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think about the overall video quality and the audio quality as well in the comments. Cheers. Now coming to the rear facing videos and starting with this one shot in 4K 60 FPS, well, both outputs look neck and neck, offer top-notch stabilization, look good, and honestly it was very difficult for me to choose a clear winner. And not just this sample but even this one, if you look at it, this was shot at night and you can clearly see how bright and detailed the videos look, shot from both the S22 Ultra and the iPhone 13 Pro. So as I'm saying, very difficult to choose one phone when it comes to taking the best videos. So let me put it this way. If you're someone who uses your camera to simply point and shoot videos, that is, you take out your phone from the pocket and start recording, in that case I think I'll give the edge to the iPhone 13 Pro here. My reason being that the videos shot on the iPhone 13 Pro look ever so slightly detailed in comparison to the Galaxy S22 Ultra videos. However, if you want a more versatile video camera that can shoot up to 8K videos, it gives you superb zoom capabilities, or it can even deliver amazing super slow-mo footage shot at up to 960 FPS that the iPhone can only dream of capturing. In that case, I feel you'll be better off with the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. But either way, very difficult to honestly pick one here because you just can't go wrong with both. So with all that is said and done, you guys already know which phone is going to be my personal pick, and if you haven't guessed it by now, it is the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. Now, this doesn't mean that the iPhone 13 Pro is a bad phone by any means. I think it is one of the best camera phones on the market that you can buy right now. But when you compare both the devices, I think so, when you look at both the phones and the capabilities that they bring to the table, this year I think Samsung has done a lot of things right, and between the two, if you're on the fence to buy one of the best camera phones, you want to get the top of the line hardware, I think so, between Samsung and Apple, this year the round goes to the Galaxy S22 Ultra. But you guys have also seen all the photos and videos, all the video samples and the photo samples in this video. So let me know what are your thoughts. Which phone would you pick? Which one do you think so did a better job? Let me know everything in the comments below. And as always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Mr. Phone. I'll catch you all in the very next one. Thank you for watching.